Great. Oh, hello, Anssi. Nice to see you as well. Welcome, everyone. We have a great opportunity today interview Marko Turunen as a special guest for us from Viessmann. My name is Jarl Matti Anttila. I'm from Jakamo, and we have been in close partnership with Viessmann the latest years, and this is great opportunity to showcase the case what we have done. And at Viessmann they have made incredible results, and today it's great day to showcase the results as well, and little bit dive what is in the background and root causes and the reasons behind what you have done. So that's interesting to listen. This will be recorded, and after the webinar we will create a short blog post about the findings, and afterwards it's easy to consume the results again and see the recording of this webinar. You're welcome to make questions to Q&A. We will see those in the end of the webinar and see and answer if we are not able to answer all the questions. So then we will handle them somehow after the webinar, perhaps in the blog post. So feel free and show your questions in Q&A part. Okay, I will set the presentation on, and if you, Marko, can shortly present you and your background, and then dive into the case, and after that we can have a dialogue.
Good. Okay, so welcome also from my side. As said already, my name is Marko Turunen, and I'm heading the strategic purchasing in Viessmann Porvoo, but doing also a lot of cooperation on the cooperation level in Viessmann. I have been working with the Viessmann now, I would say 4+ years. And I was kind of like coming to the position where Viessmann was actually doing a kind of like a turnover for the operations. And part of that was, of course, these purchasing activities. As a background, I have quite a huge or remarkable experience on the purchasing itself. So altogether, I have been, I would say, 25 years in the field of purchasing. So in different world, pulp and paper industry, automation industry, and then before joining Viessmann, I was on the healthcare technology company led by US guys. So that is kind of like shortly my history. If we go further, just giving a short introduction about Porvoo, the manufacturing site. So we are having 300 employees there, from which 100 are white collars and then 200 blue collars, and it has quite a big logistic and the production square meter perspective. And as you can see from the logistics side, there's a lot of materials coming in. The location, Viessmann location, used to be Norpe, and it has been found 1953, but Viessmann acquired us, I would say, 10 years ago. And then the next is going, also the history is going to kind of like a change in a while as well. Maybe next slide. So we have now announced, let's say, early August, that EPTA and Viessmann is about to create the new company. We don't know even not what will be the name of the company, but Viessmann will go and establish a new joint venture with EPTA, which is then fully, I would say, concentrated on the cabinet business. And then the rest of what is currently on the refrigeration side, cold rooms and clean rooms, they are staying with Viessmann. So we are then the global cabinet service and installation company in the near future. Some words about EPTA. It's an Italian family company, and it's really the market leader at the moment in refrigeration in Europe, but it also acts globally. They are having a lot of manufacturing sites, 11 in fact, and where they are located, they are actually more than in 100 countries, including Europe, Middle East, Americas, and Asia. So this is then really the global company dedicated for this cabinet business where we are. So that is that all about EPTA. Maybe next slide. So where we are, what we are doing actually in Porvoo location. So as let's say the typical thing, we are more or less concentrating our activities on the assembly side, and that is actually the focus we have been trying to improve our activities against our customers. But then on top of that, kind of like a special thing, that we are having our own evaporator manufacturing. We are shortly also selling those evaporators to the other locations in Viessmann currently, but mainly dedicated for our own cabinet assemblies. Then the core competence is really the insulation panel molding. So as you can see on the refrigeration business, you need a lot of insulation, and we are just making these panels by ourselves. We are buying the parts and metal sheets outside, but the assembly, which is then made, is actually done in-house. And then we are having these powder coating. So we are basically actually painting all our parts and sheet metals by our own. And why is that one? Is that we are having actually all the color of the rainbows, and because of that, it's difficult to control over the supply chain. But that is basically where we are concentrating in Porvoo. Then some facts about our markets. So we are having a lot of customer-specific product customizations. So we are calling those ETO, engineering to order. That is a kind of like the thing what we have been able to, let's say, develop even further. So nearly 40% out of our production is somehow tailored against customer. It could be the color, but sometimes it's a height, sometimes it's a width, and sometimes it's a let's say instrumentation related for the cabinets. Then we are having so-called CTO Plus, which means that we are having already the drawings ready, but somehow the combination is not ready. So our engineering department needs to do something about those ones. We are still having the standard orders, so the drawings and the documents are ready, and then we are just ordering the parts, and this is so-called standard ordered from our side. And especially when we are having the longer customer relationship, then these are going to that direction more and more. But we are not making any products to our stock beforehand, so we are always having the order before we start the production. The delivery time for this, we are actually delivering the projects. Porvoo factory is making the cabinets, but then our sales companies are actually delivering projects. So it's our cabinet. It could be also the cabinet purchased from outside, and then piping, instrumentation related activities as well. And of course, what we have been trying to improve, and we are having kind of like a little bit improved that the forecasting to our supply network is coming more and more important in terms of shortening the lead times. As said already, the forecast is really to secure the shorter lead times, but also the component availability, which we have, I would say, all in the purchasing process. People face kind of like challenges lately, so that is what we are trying to improve. And some figures about the component, the number of the components. We are having a lot of components at our production, so over 10,000. I would say that this is now even more. I would say 12 to 13,000 at the moment. Well, as I said in the beginning, I was coming to the joining at the time for Viessmann when we had, let's say, really focused to develop our activities. And when I was joining, I was really wondering that, okay, why the people are so, let's say, kind of like, I had a feeling that they don't have the proper communication with the supplier. So we were not sure if we were sure that the purchase orders has been placed, but we were not sure that, okay, have they delivering those ones, or what is actually the phase for that one. And when we had kind of like 50,000 purchase order rows per year, you can imagine that when trying to do that manually, that is an enormous challenge for everybody. And then because of the number, then if you are doing everything on manual base, I would say that it's a huge task, and it's very human that you forget to put everything at the time so that everybody have the same knowledge at the same time. So because of that, we faced a lot of let's say challenges, that when our production was asking where are the parts, we were not even sure that if they have been confirmed. We were sure that they have been placed, but still we did not know actually where the parts were physically. And then because of that was the firefighting mode. I would say, the typical firefighting mode. And people were actually pretty happy about that one. So they were kind of like heroes, and when they were able to solve the problems by giving an angry call for the supplier. But as I had a background already to have some kind of automated supplier communication already, I said that would be the first thing what we need to solve together. And because of just hassling and firefighting, we did not have time really to discuss with the supplier the real need about the quality, about the development, about the business in the future. So that was the challenge when I joined. Next, please. So when to try to solve this one, we actually, of course, made the analysis what is available on the market, and I had, as I said, experience from my past life also the kind of systems. But when just I was able to have the Jakamo people actually in touch, then I actually immediately saw that, okay, this is something else than the typical transactional thing, which is just solving actually the purchase order and the confirmation side. But this was really something else. First of all, it was a little bit, let's say, cheaper, but then it was also allowing us to develop the activities and the communication further. But the major thing why we actually started to have this project was really to have the POs and controlling over that one. As I said, it was very, very important for us so that we are having some further issues already available there, and still we are developing those further. But now in the purchasing department, we are doing a lot of RFQs through Jakamo, and then it's very easy kind of like to discuss and have the summaries out of the offers within the team. And then we just also started to utilize the supplier metrics. We are sharing the monthly basis the supplier metrics to each supplier through Jakamo. We are, of course, then having the monthly meetings with the suppliers, but just in case we are not having the meeting, every supplier can see how they are performing against us. And that has been kind of like very well adapted from the supplier side as well. If some month we don't deliver the reports, the suppliers are starting to call us that, okay, where is your reports? Then at the moment we are now also adding these claims for the supplier, and when we are having really the network already available, I would say that it's quite easy then to start to add these activities through the supplier network. So at the moment we are in the process to take the claim function as well there in use. And then this is not anymore for us only for this let's say the purchasing tool, but we are also now starting to take that in use at order desk. So we are on the process to make kind of like a global order desk, which are then ordering some OEM products from the supplier, and order desk are making those as directly, and then we can distribute the information to our sales companies very easily through this Jakamo, because the information is available for everybody at the same time. So basically, this was kind of like a background. Who am I and who are Viessmann, and what and how we have been actually coming to the conclusion that Jakamo is our partner for supplier collaboration. Thank you for that one.
Thank you, Marko. Let's dive a little bit deeper about the early phase when you arrived to Viessmann and started to solve this challenge you described. It was like a really clear challenge what you had, and described it well. What was the main reason then when you compared the other solutions? What was the main reason why did you choose Jakamo? Was there something else than price?
Yeah, of course, the price was also one of the important factors, especially for the purchasing. You cannot actually give that, okay, this is 10 times higher than the other one, but I just would like to have that one. But I think the major thing is when you are doing the development things, you need to start from something, but at the same time, it's good to kind of like realize and understand that you can utilize the system elsewhere as well. So it could be so that, okay, maybe we can have a kind of like 10 applications to work with, but with Jakamo actually we had actually the whole package at the same time, and still we are not utilizing every let's say application within the Jakamo, but it was really kind of like easy to see that we can actually increase our processes and the usage of Jakamo very easily, because the network is already there.
Yes, and that's how you started. You implemented first the purchase order flow automatization, and then
sorry, but I lost your voice.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
Yeah, so you started with the purchase order flow and ramped up the network, and after that you have expanded the use where the need has been. So like the metric sharing and so on, RFQs. How about the implementation phase when you decided and you signed with us that okay, let's start? How long it took, and how was the implementation phase?
Yeah, I would say that okay, now it has been nearly 4 years already when we actually started to implement that one, but I would say it was very fluent. So of course we were planning that this is a kind of like a big IT program, and especially within our organization, people were saying that okay, we cannot start the new ERP at this point for this one, but as I said, the implementation was not the kind of like a big IT program. So more or less we just made within a couple of weeks some definitions together with Jakamo, and when the software was already there, then we just decided what is the date to go live. And I would say altogether we spent, let's say, 2 months, and maybe the 1 month was just that we did not want to start that, let's say, during the December or the most hectic period. So from my perspective, this is not the kind of like an IT project. This is just the kind of like, I would say, the normal process improvement.
Yeah, that's good to hear. And many of our becoming customers are interested about the supplier engagement. If you think that you have some hundred of or 100 plus, 200
Yes.
plus suppliers, so how they react and what is the suppliers like engagement level? How did you get the suppliers involved in Jakamo?
Yeah, of course I was kind of like having a big role on that one, so a lot of, let's say, speculation before this project was so that how can you actually take your suppliers with so that they are approving this methodology. And I said that okay, I'm actually sitting on with the money, so I think I can handle that one. But it was a lot of communication as well. So when we started the project with Jakamo, of course, we made the communication with the supplier that this is going to be happening, and we describe that one. And then we just, in the middle of the project, also communicated that, okay, what is the schedule and what is needed from the supplier side. And further questions, then if they had some questions, I just would like to discuss with them personally. But I would say there were some suppliers already which were on this Jakamo platform already. And some of the suppliers were saying that, okay, finally, you are also taking this step. And I think, okay, 4 years ago, it was a different, let's say, position comparing what is now. I would say that now the Jakamo platform and the supplier network is much more larger already. So which is making this even easier.
Yes. How about the suppliers who did not so much want to join the platform? How did you get them on board, or and how is the relationship now? Is that do you have any like there are always that kind of companies that doesn't, or persons who doesn't want to join?
Yeah, I just made a kind of like a typical, let's say, Pareto analysis, let's say, related our spend. So kind of like 20% of the suppliers were kind of like the most important, and that was a kind of like a push from our side that if you want to kind of like stay with us, then this is the path we should go. And I would say that I did not have any challenges with that one. Basically, they all understood. And now when the time has been passing, actually, this is a kind of like the normal Microsoft Office in the purchasing. So everybody is knowing that this is the way it should be. But of course, when we are just having a, let's say, some minor suppliers, every now and then only the deliveries, we still push these, let's say, through the normal way. But well, once a year, twice a year, special components, I think it doesn't make too much. We don't want to make too much noise about that one. Yeah. But even those ones are kind of like we are pushing them very gently at the moment also to join that one, because this is a kind of like a standard framework for us.
Yeah. Okay. Good to hear that the commitment is there. About the, if you think life before what you have described, the firefighting world and the angry phone calls and so on, how has the supplier collaboration changed? You have mentioned it to me that there has been change in supplier collaboration, which was the target. But if you can a little bit segment it, what kind of actions or what kind of improvements there has been?
Yeah, so as I joined, kind of like a very handsome, let's say, title that I'm the head of strategic purchasing, and we had this, let's say, item group, so commodity level purchasing activities and the organization. Everybody were in the beginning kind of like a bit hesitant that, okay, you still need to kind of like chase the delivery times and so on and so on. But I would say that if I'm just looking my personal workload, it has been totally changed. So I'm still participating for the monthly meetings with the supplier every now and then, but but this kind of, let's say, firefighting is happening very rare on my level at the moment, and then I think that it's also happening with my team level as well. So I'm heading 5 purchasing or category managers, and then they are also able to do a lot more of this strategic work. And when we are having this operative purchasing, actually they are also kind of like able to kind of like concentrate where the deviations are, not hunt everything. So I think it has a kind of like a much more better framework as an overall.
Yeah, what is the root cause for that? Why is that happening?
Well, I think the workload has been changed, or the nature has been changed, because the system is taking care, let's say, the routines.
Yeah.
And that information is available at the same time for everybody. And especially it was actually, we were very lucky during the COVID time that we actually just implemented this before, because then somebody could actually kind of like have that information on their mailbox, but they were ill. But with this platform, we did not have that challenge. And in the matter of fact, I was kind of like thinking, one day, so that how on earth the companies were able to survive without such kind of, let's say, platform, because people were actually doing a lot of work from their home, and everybody can, even though had the overall situation where what is happening there. So it was kind of like we were just lucky to implement this on the right time.
Yeah, there was lots of disruptions in the market, and there was lots to do to seek solutions.
Yes.
And I suppose you had more time to solve these kind of challenges then.
Yes, especially for the electronic component side, we had the allocations, and we had the allocations meetings with our most important suppliers with them, and we were sure that if we can solve these couple of issues, we can then run our production normally. And we did not have actually too much, let's say, challenges against our supplier, against our customers to deliver the cabinets during these hard times.
Yeah. So if we put in other words, the transparency of the information and this kind of information accuracy, real-timeness, and this kind of symmetric information with your suppliers was like beneficial at that time, especially.
Yeah, and of course at the moment as well. But now, though, luckily we are in a bit better situation.
Yes. Okay. How about if you think about this kind of metrics and results, this kind of like tough results, for example, on-time delivery, accuracy, or cost of poor quality, these kind of metrics. Do you have some data, or do you have some kind of analytics of those, how those has improved?
I would say the OTD actually, which was actually the original the problem. I think it has been now sustained on the level. I would say it's in the normal industry. I would say if we are, of course, it depends how you are measuring that, but that is I would say it was kind of like I would say 82% or something like that, when it's nowadays 95, 94 level on that one. So I think it has been a kind of like very, very good improvement on that stand. And then I think the quality thing has been improved, so that we have had actually much more time to go through the claims and the root causes with the supplier. And because of that, we have been able to improve the overall quality with the supplier, but of course through that it's a remarkable improvement also to our customer side as well.
Yes, I believe that. And if you think your business environment and how you operate, what is your delivery strategy, so that the engineering to order delivery strategy. So I think the OTD is quite high when you. Yeah. Good. Is there any other metrics you have recognized? For example, this kind of is there some improvement, for example, in employee satisfaction or supplier experience or supplier commitment towards you?
I would say the suppliers are also kind of like a little bit maybe happier is not the right word, but at least we are having the same information at the same time at both sides. So kind of like unnecessary calls and that kind of things has been actually reduced quite drastically. And because of that, I would say that our operative purchasing guys and the team there, they are also kind of like a little bit happier on that respect, that it's not anymore firefighting as it was, let's say, before this platform. But now it's kind of like only a couple of things which are normally long lead time items, and of course forecast accuracy related activities. And if we are able to kind of like be flexible and, for example, to change our production schedule, we are able to do that one much more easier than before.
Yeah. And actually, one of our in Jakamo, our this kind of missions is to make the purchasers heroes, like you said in earlier, little bit different way, but do you still think that they feel that they are heroes in their field?
Yeah, of course, and I'm more than let's say willing to give them the responsibility more and more, because it doesn't make me a hero if I'm a hero with the supplier. I need to be a hero on the process level and improve that one. So if they I would say that the right people should shine.
Yeah, great. we have 5 minutes left, and perhaps some thoughts about the future. What do you think? What kind of like, or what are your thoughts? How you would benefit Jakamo more in the future? You mentioned already about the claims and this kind of supply quality side. But is there something that in your like future vision, where should you like direct, or is there something that you expect us to develop in the future?
Yeah, of course, the development is never stopping. First of all, of course, when we are now joining with EPTA, that is kind of like a big question that how we can implement Jakamo there. If that is then the possible, then I would say that they are actually looking very carefully what is happening at that Porvoo side on that one. But from the applications in Jakamo, I would say that the engineering order changes and these kind of things, which is kind of like a normal routine, it should be actually also taken into use with us, because we are having a lot of discussion with the supplier that, okay, if the engineering change has been made, when we should actually take that into use. And then we need to start the discussion that, okay, what is the stock level by our suppliers, and exactly the same kind of like what was the problem for the purchase order lines. It should be more transparent. As well.
Yeah. Do you have what kind of volumes you have in the engineering change level? Do you know roughly?
Well, I would say that we are having, let's say, thousands per year.
Yes. Okay.
A couple of thousand for every year.
So there are lots of communication there.
Yeah, sure. And then scrapping, of course, we are losing money if we are doing wrong decision based on not the real data.
Yeah.
So and that is something we need to be and improve the transparency, of course.
Yeah. Okay, Marko. Last question to you, based on your wide experience and expertise on the field of procurement and purchasing, strategic purchasing. What would be your recommendation for your peers who are in the same situation that you were, and based on that experience, what would you recommend how to start improving the supplier experience in their field and in their network, and what should be their like strategies or actions, next steps, what to take in the like early phase?
Yeah, I would say that actually the biggest thing, of course, you need to decide what is your framework or the strategy. But I would say that supplier communication is one of the key elements, which is then allowing you to do the bigger things. But the most important thing is really to start to do something, and then don't eat the elephant as a whole in the beginning, because then it's kind of like also mentally a little bit difficult, because when you are making the change, you need to have some success stories in the very beginning, and if that is happening, then it's much more easier. So, for example, in Viessmann, as in the global perspective, I'm a hero now for the purchasing development, because I had really the good start for Jakamo, and everybody are kind of like happy with that what I have been achieving by doing this. So I would say that think first what will be your strategy, but then after that is ready, just start to make the small steps.
Great, thank you. We have spent our time, and if there are some questions you want to ask, you can use the Q&A part, and we will be here online waiting for the questions if there are any, and answer those questions. Otherwise, we thank you all, the participants. It was great to see that there were so many online, and hopefully you got some inspiration and some facts also to your everyday life, and to get some improvement initiatives from our discussion. Thank you, Marko, a lot of this dialogue. It has been a pleasure as always. Is there anything that you have in your mind that you would like to share what we didn't discuss today? Something special that you want to share?
Yeah, I would say that really the most important is to have the framework to work with, and then the details are then following that one. So as I said in the beginning, Jakamo is a kind of like an office tool at the moment. So I would say when I'm going now to our production and discuss with our operative purchasing team, they don't even remember the time nowadays before Jakamo. So that is so natural at the moment. So I would say that what can be automated, just do it.
Good. Yes, and actually, in your side, you have automated the purchase order flow and also the KPI sharing. So,
yes.
so that's from your BI tool automated towards the supplier. So they get the metrics automatically. Yeah. Good. Okay. There are no questions. Thank you to all participants. We will close the seminar or webinar now, and wishing you all a great day. Thank you.
Okay, thank you also from my side.
Thank you, Marko.